Hi everyone, and welcome to another YouTube video all about power wheelchairs and various ways people can drive them. Most people use a standard joystick to drive a power wheelchair, but others need alternative driving methods. We've had a few recent YouTube videos about compact joysticks as well as mini proportional joysticks. Our most recent video before this one was on mounting options when we're using a compact or mini proportional joystick by the chin. Today we're going to talk about mounting options when we mount a mini proportional joystick by the hand. Now, most people who need a mini proportional joystick have muscle weakness, and that same person is going to need substantial support underneath the forearm, the wrist, and the hand to really isolate that discrete movement of a finger or a thumb. So it's really important to provide that positioning as a part of our mounting solution. Once we do that, we need to choose a mounting option to precisely place the mini joystick using either a hand tray, a full-size tray, or using midline or swing away hardware. Sometimes we use a combination of these to get the desired result. So again, we need to make sure that that forearm, wrist, and hand are really well supported. Again, this is someone usually with muscle weakness. The usual arm pad on a wheelchair isn't too wide. We can use a wider arm pad, use an arm trough, or even use a tray. So on the left here, we have a chair that does have a wider arm trough. You can see it also has an elbow support that provides some posterior and lateral forearm support. This is from Stealth products and can be used again in combination with a wider arm pad to provide for that forearm support. We can specify that arm pad's a little longer too to provide wrist support as well. In the middle, we have an arm trough. There's a number of these on the market. This one happens to be available through Stealth products as well. This one stops just at the wrist. In this case, we probably aren't going to use a hand pad that comes as a part of the arm trough. If we use a hand pad, it's a specialized one that's designed to support a mini proportional joystick. So we want our arm trough to stop at the wrist, providing that full forearm and wrist support. And then on the right, we have an example of a tray. Either a full or half-size tray can be used to support the forearm, wrist, and hand. We can also look at options once we've supported the forearm, the wrist, the hand to support that proportional joystick. This placement often needs to be very, very specific because this person may have very limited movement, and it's important that the joystick stay in relation to the hand. One advantage of that lateral posterior support that we saw on the previous slide is as the client perhaps tilts or reclines, it helps the hand to stay in position in relation to the mini proportional joystick. This hand pad, also made by Stealth products, can support a wide range of mini proportional joysticks. It has some really nice advantages, and I use this a lot. First, from a positioning standpoint, we're supporting the hand so that the client again can really isolate those small movements. In addition to supporting the hand, we're supporting the joystick position. This hardware allows for height adjustment. So depending on how the client is using the joystick with their hand, that joystick can be flush with the hand support, or it can be above the hand pad itself. So if somebody uses their hand in a different position, they still can use the joystick. So that height adjustment is really important. Another advantage of the hand pad is it protects this rather fragile and rather expensive mini proportional joystick. So since the joystick is contained and a great deal of it may be under the hand pad, it's well protected even if the client collides with the side of a door frame on their way into the room. The whole hand pad can be mounted to swing away hardware. We can see this in the middle lower picture. This is a Gatlin mount, and this allows it to swing out of the way for transfers. We can also mount a mini joystick within a tray, either a full-size tray or this half tray from Stealth. The hole can be positioned anywhere that's required to support the mini joystick. The same height adjustable hardware is available, so we can change the height relative to the surface of the tray. And the tray can be mounted to that Gatlin mount to allow the whole thing to swing out of the way. If we use a full tray, it needs to be removed, and that sometimes can be a little more tricky with wires. So I really like using this half tray. This whole half tray can be pivoted as well, so I can get just the angle I want, again, to provide that postural support. So again, this is going to protect the joystick, provide that precise placement and height adjustment, and it swings out of the way. And finally, we have the hardware itself. Now in these pictures, we can see both a Gatlin mount on the left and a different style swing away mount, both again from Stealth Products, that can hold a variety of mini proportional joysticks. But we don't want to leave that joystick just hanging out in space. We want to make sure this person has adequate support. And so typically we would find this in combination with a tray or hand pad for the client to access. It may be possible to use this in combination with an arm trough, particularly one that perhaps pivots if we are going to place that mini proportional joystick a little more midline. So I hope this has been helpful to you. If you're working with a client who is using a mini proportional joystick, or you're recommending one and you need to look at mounting options, again, I hope this info helps out, and I hope to see you on a future webinar or webinar or YouTube video. We do both. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.